Hi, my name is Brian. I am the Bearded Nerd, where I help new players and game masters learn, play, and grow their love for tabletop RPGs. If you're a player or you have players that are checking their phones, zoning out during combat, or just not engaging in the world, it's not because they don't care. It's because something at the table isn't letting them in. It's not pulling them in. And the good news, that's fixable. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 simple yet practical ways to keep your players engaged, even if you're a brand new game master. No extra prep, no complicated systems, just better habits at the table. So, with that being said, let's dive into this video. Be sure to be subscribed and like this video for other game master tips. Tip number 1, ask better questions. One of the fastest ways to lose engagement is by asking flat questions. What do you do? What does your character do? Instead, ask how they do something. Hey, how are you approaching the guard? What does this look like when you cast a spell? This works because it puts the players into the fiction, not just the mechanics of the situation. Instead, they are going to stop thinking as in, I'm going to roll persuasion to persuade the guard. And instead, they start thinking, oh, I'm going to try to win this guard over by appealing to their pride or maybe making a joke of some sort. It goes from rolling stealth to how are you going to sneak past the patrol? It puts them in the frame in the moment. It gets them present. And the player starts to feel like they are in the scene and not just rolling dice. Tip number 2, share the spotlight. Every table has that one player that talks a lot. I tend to talk a lot. One player that's sitting quietly. Your job as the game master is to balance that spotlight. This works so well when you share the spotlight because engagement drops when players feel like they're watching passively instead of actively participating and playing. Even the quiet players want moments where they can shine. They don't want to jump in all the time. So instead, if one player is acting in a particular manner and is taking the time, so to speak, shift it. Hey, awesome. That's great. And then point to the other person, maybe that's quiet or hasn't had a turn yet. Hey, what is your character doing right now? You can say their name. It pulls them in, and you're not forcing them, but you're inviting them. And another great tip is to use a stopwatch. You can use it on your phone. You can use it on your actual watch. It doesn't matter. But you can actually place a 10-minute to 15-minute timer. And once you press that timer, you say, okay, Thranduil, what would your character do? Or rather, what is Thranduil doing? What is Frodo doing? Or what is Elrond doing? Again, making up names here is when you name the character, you ask them, hey, what is your character doing at the moment? How is your character responding to this scene? Or in perspective or in the eyes of your character, what do they view? Whatever the question framing would be, you are inviting them in the scene. And then once that timer goes off, 10, 15 minutes, you switch to the next player. Hey, what is your character doing? As this is going on, what is your character doing? 3, shorten downtime. Long pauses can kill engagement, especially when it comes to combat or setting up a scene or looking at rules. Oftentimes, when you are trying to come up with a rule or comment, whatever it may be, right? You need to shorten that space. You need to shorten the downtime. And I'm not talking about downtime activities. I'm talking about the lag that occurs. If you create momentum, though, it creates engagement. Why? Because When the game is slowing down, the players start to get distracted. They start to mentally check out, and it's natural. It happens. Instead of letting someone, let's say, think about their moves for 2 minutes in combat, you need to give a soft timer, right? Hey, you've got a couple of seconds to make your move. What feels right? Or if you're sure, you can just always attack, something like that. It keeps the game moving. And if you're trying to plan a scene, if you go back to the tip I said earlier about asking players what they do during this scene or that scene, it's going to set it up where the other players are going to think, okay, the game master is going to ask me what I'm doing. Let me think about it. If it comes to rules lookups, the best thing to do is to make a decision on the rule then and there, and then move on later. Use that time delicately. You want to make sure that you can kind of give an answer, whether it's a homebrew answer or a rules as written answer, and then move on. Again, energy matters in this case. It doesn't matter about being perfect. I would rather you be consistent and keep the game moving than seek out perfection. Tip number 4, give players real agency. If player choices don't matter to them, or if they feel like they don't matter, then the players will stop caring. I personally believe that engagement comes from impact. So your players need to feel like they can actually make change in the world. So here's one bad example. No matter what they do, the story goes the same way. I've done that, and I learned from it that that is not the way to go, because then players will just do whatever or they won't do anything. It's either or. Instead, the players can do this, and then that has a reaction, whether negative or positive. It allows the players to feel like, oh, I actually did something that matters. For example, when the party influences the world around them positively, then they have positive benefits. If they influence the world negatively, negative consequences occur. Those are real life, tangible benefits and cons, so to speak, that a player can touch. It's tangible, but you can give them something that they can actually chew on. For example, you and your party are able to help the village, save the village from bandits. Now the village is going to be kind to the party. They may give them a discount on certain items at the market. Maybe they'll give them a free drink at the tavern. Simple things like that really matter and really make the players feel like their choices mattered and impacted the world. Remember, the world is living and breathing. So the world should react and respond to the players' choices. Every choice changes what happens next. It impacts the larger picture. So even that small decision should matter. And in this case, it should matter in the game and to your players. Tip number 5, use names and direct their attention. When someone hears their name, they snap back into the moment. So instead of asking, oh, what do you do? Switch it up and say, all right, Sarah, player name, what is your rogue character name doing? It feels personal and it pulls them into the spotlight instantly. You will notice that in all of what I just said, you didn't have to prep more. You didn't have to add more lore. You didn't have to do any more world building. This is all about how you run a table in the moment. This is about table etiquette. This is managing a table. This is a skill within itself. If this was a resume, this would be part of your soft skills, which are so important, and they are really royalty of skills. If your players are engaged, laughing, making decisions, you're doing an amazing job. If they're reacting to the world, responding, but most importantly, having fun, you're doing the right thing. If you start applying 1 or 2 of these tips, you'll feel the difference immediately. If this helped though, subscribe to the channel I focus on helping new game masters build confidence and run games that players actually want to be a part of. Next video, I will show you how to build sessions that practically run themselves. I hope you enjoyed this. And as always, folks, keep gaming.